Welcome to Masters of Product Management, powered by Sequent Learning Networks, a show that provides extraordinary insights for product managers who want to go faster and farther in their product management careers.
Hello, this is JJ Rory, Vice President in Sequent Learning Networks. In our Masters of Product Management podcast, we tap into the experiences of people who work in and around product management to help you learn and grow in your product management career. Our topic today is one that is really close to my heart, the intersection of product management and talent development. While what we do at Sequent is solely focused on the function of product management, what we really do is help organizations with their talent management and organizational development efforts. We train and educate product managers and product leaders on the function of product management and on how the organization can best create an environment for product success. And when I was leading product teams for organizations, one of my very favorite parts of my role was helping my team members learn and grow in skills, knowledge, and overall business acumen. So I'm really excited about our guest today. She has a uniquely relevant experience for this particular topic. Kane is Head of Organizational Talent and Leadership Development at Saba Software. As the OD leader at a talent management provider, she has the unique opportunity to marry Saba's ongoing performance, continuous learning, and career development strategies with the company's own cloud solutions and services. Hawley is responsible for global initiatives ranging from onboarding to performance management training and leader development, as well as Saba's people and team-driven development programs. Before her L&D leadership role, Hawley served as principal product manager at Hawleys Software, which was acquired by Saba in 2017, where she fell in love with the why that led her jumping ship. Hawley has almost 2 decades of product management experience, but she would never say that because it makes her feel old. And I'm right there with you, Hawley. I still pretend to be 23 and no one believes me anymore. So Hawley, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is a great topic. 2 passions coming together.
I know, right? I mean, this may be a 2-hour podcast. So sorry, guys, you may be here forever. So you have just such an interesting background. I just gave a short overview on it, but can you tell us a bit about how you got to where you are today, what your path was like, and what were some of the turning points along the way?
Sure. So as you shared, and we'll keep that between us and everyone listening, I've been doing product management for a while, and I've moved in a few different companies. And what I've always felt is if I'm going to be a product manager for something, I need to love it. I need to be passionate about it. I need to believe in it. And when I joined Halogen, I really drank the Kool-Aid. We were building solutions for HR or people teams and organizations to help build their employee base. And I fell in love. And I had an opportunity about 5 or 6 years in to be a champion for our product internally. And as a product manager, this is a dream. You basically ensure your organization is eating your own dog food. And with that, I kind of fell in love with the customer side or the people who buy our solution. And so that was a sort of a test pilot project. And I went back into the product management side. But when we were acquired by Saba, there was an opening to kind of bring Saba software to our employees and really redesign how we use that internally. And so I jumped ship. I really believe for any product manager, the opportunity to eat your own dog food is so valuable because you get to learn from a customer experience. And I know that a lot of companies call it drinking your own champagne. We do internally. My only caution with that is when you're drinking your own champagne and you're a product manager and you're loving your baby, you sometimes get a little drunk on that. And so I really, really caution you to use that term and go back to eating your own dog food because you want to be open for possibility and change as well.
Okay. I love that. I'm not convinced that I wouldn't rather be drunk than eating dog food, but I'll give that one to you. Oh, I love it. Okay. Well, thank you for that. That's fascinating. And you're so right. I mean, the best product managers have that internal passion. They love what they do. They love the problems that it solves for their clients, and they have that kind of natural empathy. So thank you for sharing that. So as head of talent development, you are responsible for learning and development of all employees, of course, not just product managers. But do you see anything unique in the relationship between product management and talent development?
So I'm biased, as you know, because I've come from product management into learning. But for me, product managers don't stop learning. Like this is really part of what you do. And so when you think about what a product manager needs to know, you deal with sales, you deal with engineering, you deal with marketing, you deal with finance. You need to know enough to be dangerous in all those areas. And then you have your market that you need to be constantly learning about. Who are your competition? What disruptions may come, learning about technology. There's so much for a product manager to know and continue to know and never lose that want to know, that I think when it comes down to the different organizations within a business and who really adopts and loves and dreams learning, again, bias, I'm going to go with product managers. So to me, they're a great alliance to make early on for anyone in an L&D role, is to understand how you can help your product managers. And then when you look at what product managers need to do on that skill side for their role, they're also a group of people that need to have amazing soft skills, right? They need to build alliances, they need to be able to promote a vision, they need to seek innovation. So there's so much there for them to grow and develop. They're true leaders within an organization. And so it's a really important role to focus in on and help. They're the ones driving your business forward. Again, totally biased.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, one of the things that we, in our trainings and in our coaching and advisory, we talk so much about is that balance. And a good product manager just simply has to be well balanced in terms of knowing the process and applying the process consistently and bringing people along with all of those kind of hard skill processes. That's critical and foundational. But without those soft skills, frankly, it's just not as successful if you can't lead and influence and communicate well. The best processes in the world won't get you there. So I totally agree. I also am biased. So we should rename this podcast the Bias Podcast. But let's do it. So again, thank you. Okay, so one of the things that continues to surprise me, and we see it in our research, we see it with our clients. And that is that there still is so much confusion on what product management is and what it is not. So even within product groups, and new product managers aren't quite sure what product management is, because as you said before, or as you alluded to, it's not as if we get a degree in product management, right? We get a degree in business management or marketing or what have you, or finance, and product management really encompasses all of those. And so we still see this within product groups, but especially within our sister groups, sales, marketing, ops, engineering, just not quite sure. And there's this misperception of the role of product management. Do you see the same thing? And if so, have you found any secrets to help increase that level of awareness across the board, across the organization?
So it's funny, when I started off my life as a product manager, I didn't know what it was. Nobody knew what it was. And I spent so much time explaining it. Now that I'm not a product manager, people are like, oh yeah, product management. And then you talk to them and you realize, oh wait, they're talking about project management. So you're right. People still don't really understand what it is, right? And it's a real issue. And I believe that goes back to the soft skills of product management. If you're delivering and sharing a really compelling vision for your product and really being the CEO of your product, there should be no one in the organization who doesn't know who you are and why you're amazing at your job. Like it is this, product managers have an amazing stage because you deal with so many people in the organization. So if you're moving the business forward and you're really selling that story of why the product's so important and the solutions and the problems it's solving, there shouldn't be any question. So Uncle Larry may never know what you do as a product manager, but in your organization, because you need to be out in front and selling that story across the business, there should be no question on what a product manager is within your own organization.
Definitely. So, and I completely agree. So let's turn back to, we talked about soft skills and hard skills. So do you tend to, in your role in head of OD, do you tend to focus on helping employees build soft skills, so communication, leadership, presentation skills, et cetera, or more hard skills, teaching processes? Do you focus on one more often than the other? And do you think one tends to be more important or more of a priority?
So I think you nailed it earlier when you talked about there's no degree in product management, and many people, I know my history is I fell into it. Many people fall into it or sort of fall in love with the idea of it. And so I kind of comes down to where you are in your career. If you're still at that point where you're discovering what product management is, how you fit, there's so many different, I'll say, types of product manager, whether you're more customer facing or you're more technical side of it. So early in your career, you may be very much focused on what is product management? How do I be a better product management? But as you move forward in your career, and I'll speak for myself and the product management that I've worked with, it really comes down to how do I build those alliances? How do I present the story and the vision of our product in a way that people are interested in learning? And so as you sort of get used to and really good at those product management skills, the soft skills, I think, jump up. And one of the things I'll say with product managers is they're so busy, right? They're so busy. They're juggling so many things at one time that as an L&D leader now, I'll say, ain't nobody got time for me. But it's so important to make that time. And I had the opportunity and the luck really in my career to work for a VP who literally blocked our calendars off and said, 4 hours a week is strategic work, which meant no Jira, no bug scrubs, no tactical working with engineering. Here's how it's how it needs to come together. It was focus on the market, focus on growth in your industry, understand the competition. And she blocked the 4 hours in our calendars to learn. If I'm honest, the 4 hours would be 2 hours and 1 hour sometimes, but blocking that time for growth and development was key. And I believe that as a team at that time under that VP, our team thrived because we were not living in the tactical. We were growing and learning and helping to discover what's going to take our product to the next level.
Definitely. And so one of the things that you mentioned, and it really got my mind, kind of one of my philosophies, if you will, is I think of product management and the skills needed somewhat like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And so the process of, all of the how to build a business case, how to write a user story, how to follow the process, apply the process consistently, how to vet ideas across the same criteria, all of those things that have to happen, how to understand, backlogs and grooming, and, all of the nuts and bolts that happen. Those are kind of the basic needs, right? That's the foundation of product management. Without that, you're never going to be truly successful because there's so much organizational drag, if you will, right? But you don't really differentiate yourself and you don't really get up to that self-actualization until you get really good at those soft skills. So I think I appreciate your sharing that because I agree with you. And I think that we see that a lot. We teach the process, but we also teach the soft skills around it, the strategic market insights around it. And that's product management. Right. And often we, meaning the product management community, mistake, agile development or waterfall development or this or that for product management. And that's one very, important, but just one piece of it. And so the way you couch that is perfect. So thank you for sharing that. So what would you recommend to your talent development and HR peers to ensure that the product management group is as knowledgeable and prepared as possible on all of that, on process, on hard skills, and then, of course, the kind of important soft skills as well?
So again, bias, but, so I work at Saba and we're a talent development company. So I get to live every day what we do. But I'm also really close to the product management team because many of those people I've worked with for years and years. And so to the HR people listening, the people team, building relationships with your product managers, understanding their development needs, getting them to understand the value of talent development and what it can bring to product management, what it can bring to the entire organization is gold. There may not be anybody else in an organization that can champion initiatives like product managers can. It's what product managers do, right? And so every day they're talking to sales and marketing and engineering and finance. And if they support your initiatives, your development initiatives, and are willing to share their stories, you just got free marketing. Like you've just upped your game. And I would sort of challenge HR people, and this is something that I know HR people struggle with timing as well, is you need to know your business. And your product managers know your business. So working with them to understand it, to, listen, sit in on those product demos, it's going to help people teams across the board, right? It'll help you with recruiting. It'll help you with what growth and development needs are. So in understanding your products and services, knowing your customers, knowing your competitors is only going to help you help the business. And when it comes to working with product managers, and this is something that I'll say, I'll be a little honest, I was a little sore about. When you look at what product managers do in an organization, typically they're individual contributors. Sometimes they'll have a few direct reports, but typically they're individual contributors. And when you're building out your leadership programs in an organization, often you focus on people leaders. But when you look at what product managers do every day, they are absolutely leaders in your organization because they have to influence across the board without any authority. They have to influence developers, they have to influence sales. And so I would suggest to all people leaders or all HR teams, when you're looking at your leadership development programs, consider product management in that, because all of the training you're giving to your people leaders is absolutely as relevant for the product managers as well. So consider them part of your leadership. They work across the business. And again, they're going to sell what you're trying to give to the organization along the way. So that would be my advice to the HR teams out there listening.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing and such perfect advice. I wish I could I'm going to email this podcast to every single HR leader out there in the world. So that's my goal because that's really great advice. So Hawley, thank you so much. This was an amazing discussion today. Thank you again, Hawley Kane, head of organizational talent and leadership development for Sava Software, for sharing your insights with me. Again, you have such a unique perspective on this, and I just love how you've brought your passion for both product management and leadership development and talent management and really rolled that into a role. And I think you've definitely found your calling. So it's been great to hear from you. Thank you again for joining me.
Thanks for the opportunity. It's been fun.
So thank you again for joining us on Masters of Product Management, powered by Sequent Learning Networks. I am JJ Rory, and I look forward to speaking with you on the next episode.
You've been listening to Masters of Product Management, powered by Sequent Learning Networks. If you'd like to take your career to the next level with additional tools, training, coaching, and books, be sure to visit Sequent Learning Networks at sequentlearning.com.